So those who are present, they can call out your numbers. Yes.
39.
26.
Roll number
Roll
8.
number roll number 3 present, ma'am.
63 present, ma'am.
52, ma'am.
58, ma'am.
8,
Roll
ma'am.
number
38, ma'am.
Ma'am, 32.
27.
I'm 39.
38, 32, 39.
Ma'am, 70.
27.
27,
Roll number
70.
40.
Roll number
94.
I'm 58.
Ma'am,
58.
45.
58 के
Ma'am,
पहले 24 था क्या? Before 28. Sorry, 58.
24 था, ma'am.
Okay, next.
45. 63, ma'am.
63. Next.
69, ma'am.
Ma'am, 53.
Okay.
Ma'am, roll
52,
number
ma'am.
40.
52. 52 is there.
Ma'am,
67. 67.
67.
I'm roll
Next.
number 37. 37.
37.
Ma'am, 49.
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
69.
69 हो गया.
Ma'am, 40.
55.
45. 45.
45 and 40 done.
55, ma'am.
55.
Yes.
Ma'am, 49.
Ma'am, roll number 1.
49
70.
is done.
Ma'am, 59.
Ma'am, it would be better if you could share the screen so we could check.
59.
Ma'am, 60. 60.
60.
Ma'am, 1.
1 is done.
70.
Ma'am, 26.
26 is done.
Ma'am, roll number 17.
17 and 70 both are done. That's it. So I've just, yes,
35.
35 and 36. ठीक है. So I've just ticked the numbers but not submitting now. We'll submit at the end of the session. So let us get now start with the, let me share the slide. So our previous lecture couldn't get completed. We are yet to see how to add a direct reply action. So today we're going to discuss the steps which are involved in adding a reply to the notifications. So we'll directly go to the slide. So how to add the direct reply action. Okay. So first of all, we have seen, previously that we can invoke the activity in the tapping action. Now this time what will happen, instead of invoking an activity, we would going to provide the inline notification. Okay. And that would going to accept the reply. So rather having invoke one activity, we can directly pass the input, and that input would be sent to the, or would be handled by your application. So reply action will just appear as an additional input like this. So when you click onto the reply action, it will open a input box for you wherein you can enter the text input, And once you finish typing, then the system takes this text response to the intent that you had specified for the notification action. So it requires two more things. Like already we have seen intent, but this time the intent with the receiver we are going to make use of, and the notification actions and sending the intent to the application. Okay. So first and foremost thing, how to add this reply button. Okay. So these steps could be altered. Like you can first prepare the reply and then invoke the intent, or you can do vice versa also, not an issue. So here first thing that we will going to do is we're going to add the reply support to our notification action. So that can be done by creating the instance of remote input builder object. Okay. So that helps us to add it to your notification. So this class constructors is accepting a string that the system uses like a key for the text input, and later your application will uses the same key to retrieve the text of the input. So as you can see, first we are preparing a strings which is going to deliver as the key. Okay. Then after that, what we are doing, we are creating the instance of this remote input object by calling the remote input builder constructor, and which is going to accept this key. Okay. And we'll set some label and we'll prepare it by saying dot build. So this will going to first add the reply kind of an action. So whatever message, whatever label that you would set here, that would going to appear. So this is from the Android. This is from the developer docs. I have taken code, and and our corresponding code would look like this. So here the only difference is that we are not using the r dot string dot. I mean, like we're not declared the string variables. Rather, some string constants in the Java itself we are using. So assume that this is our key and this is our label, and whatever is the name of your label. So assume, so here you have to assume that the label is set to the reply, or as you can see here, the label has been set to the reply. And then we will going to create this object and set label to this label, and we will call the method build. So this will going to first, add this reply action to our existing notification. Okay. The next thing is that once you are doing so, okay, you need to fetch the so obviously once user click on reply, it will open a text box like this, and the user has to type something and click on send. So for that, some component has to be there to receive this text. Okay. So since we are not invoking any activity this time, because this will be just like, once the user has clicked on send, then the system will takes this input and will pass it to your application. So which means that somebody has to be notified that this event has been triggered of reply. Okay. So which means that we can make use of the broadcast receiver component. So in order to receive this text reply, so assume that this time the intent would not going to call upon any new activity, rather it would going to call the receiver. Okay. And with an action, what action you wanted to achieve. So whatever user has entered, I just want to view it. Okay. So my action would be the intent action would be to view. And what would be my flag? So just like we had started a new activity with this two flag, the same way we will going to invoke a new receiver with this flag. Okay. And we're going to pass the intent that we had created to our pending intent, just like how in the tapping action we had created a pending intent, and then we had passed our intent object, and then we had set this intent to our notification builder object by calling the method set content intent. So the same way we're going to do it here as well. Okay. So we're going to pass this intent, and here we can give the different request code. Okay. Or maybe if you are, designing a reply action for a messaging app, so in that case what will happen is you have to take a little bit more care. Okay. Since for this piece of code, we are assuming that we just have only one notification, so request code, I mean any one request code is sufficient enough to just identify. But assume that if you are using, or if you're designing a messaging kind of an application where user may reply to different conversation, and where each conversation is a different one than the one they thought that, they are replying to, so you must provide a request code that is going to be different for each conversation, and you should provide an intent that can handle this. Okay, so basically, we can say that in that scenario, we can have the conversation ID, which is frequently passed as a part of the intent extras bundle. Okay, so we have extras in intent. So you may assume that, this is some user defined method, okay, which is going to fetch the conversation ID. So here we had directly passed some hard coded request code, but here the request code will be treated as, or the conversation ID would be treated as the request code, because different conversation would have to have a different thread of a messages. Okay, so how you can attach it to the origin thread with the help of the conversation ID. And next, what you will going to do, third parameter, as you can see, is the intent. So our intent is very simple. Whatever user has entered, we just wanted to view, and that intent we are passing here. But in this case, first of all, you need to write one user defined method, which is something like get message reply intent. Okay, so which will going to fetch the intent data corresponding to the ID which is passed here. So as you can see that this user defined method is also accepting the same ID for which this broadcast would be notified, okay, or would be triggered. So the same way, every time there would be different conversation, and this would going to give you a different conversation ID, and corresponding to each conversation ID you would get a different message reply. Okay, and now coming to the flag, this is also very much important, because when you are designing a messaging kind of application where you want to see all the series of messages getting updated in the same notification, in that case you have to make use of flag update current, otherwise that effect won't be visible. I hope it is understood. No doubt till here? Yes? Any doubt till here? Yes or no?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so you should also know that, what are the types of actions that can be supported. So you have reply, one you can see as archive, other one that we would also be now seeing apart from reply is view, then snooze. Okay, so for all this inline action, you don't have to really call activity. You can just work with the receiver also. That is a broadcast receiver. So these are the first two steps that we did, okay, to prepare the reply action. Okay, next step is to create the reply action and add the remote input object that we had created in step number one. Okay, so assume that this is our step one wherein we had created this. So first we're going to prepare one notification action. So using the notification compat.action API, we're going to create an action object, and we're going to initialize it with notification action.builder. Okay, now here you will find that it is again accepting some parameters. Okay, so first is, while replying, what kind of an icon you want to be displayed. So you may choose the same message icon as that of your main notification. Okay, and then what was the reply label that you had passed from the previous remote input object, and reply pending intent. So this we had created here itself. This is reply label, this is reply pending intent. So all these things we are passing and preparing it in a form of an action. So where system comes to know that this is a reply label, that this is the intent that which it is carrying, this is the icon which is to be displayed while showing the action, and what is the remote input. Okay, from where you're going to get the responses from the user. So you're going to invoke a method dot add remote input and pass this previously created remote input object. Okay, and then you will call upon a method called build. So this third step basically prepares the action as a whole. Okay, and next step, while creating the notification, you have to add this action. So why again we are creating a notification? Because here, once the user clicked on tapped onto this reply, typed some text, clicked on send, again the same has to be shown as a form of notification. So that text should appear below this. Okay, so again a notification has to be created. So in that case, when you're creating or you're building the notification by, applying this action, so here you would going to make use of a method called add action. This we had already seen in the previous session. Okay, whenever we are creating a notification, we are setting the icon, we are setting the title, we are setting the text. Now this time we're going to make use of one more functions which can make this reply action to be known to this notification. So by saying dot add action action. So in this third step, we already had created this action. We're just going to use it. So likewise, you can add multiple. Okay. So here, basically the demo today, which we're going to see. So I had created two type of actions. One is reply, one is view. Okay. So for one, wherein we are doing the reply part, it is inline. But where I'm going to show you view. It is like creating or or invoking an activity with an explicit intent. So both the things I have put together. Okay. So next, last step is to just issue the notification. Now, once the notification is issued, the user has entered something, we should receive or retrieve the message. Okay. So this last step is all about retrieving the messages which has been passed through the intent. Okay. So, and that was with the reply intent. So here, before we had created a reply intent, we had created a remote input object. So through remote input object, we were accepting the user input. Now, similarly to receive it, we're going to create a bundle object and we're going to get the message called remote input dot get results from intent and passing this intent. So if this input object is not null, then we have to return the input, whatever input that the user has given with this corresponding to this key. Okay. And now whatever is being returned, you can set it to a text view, or you may set it to, or you may pass the entire string related to this key, okay, into a different application itself. Okay. Or what you can do, you can create a new notification itself which will inform the user that this is the input which has been received or informed by the system. So like if I reply anything here and if I click on send, so the same action or the same content should be echoed back here inside my notification. So even that can be done. So we will see all of them together. Okay. So what we will do, we'll create an app which will start showing a notification once it is launched. Okay. And don't forget, this first, I had split it into two modules. So this first part of the first module is still here. Okay. जो हमने last session में देखा था. So it will going to have everything together now. Okay. We will be having the expandable notification channel का code भी रहेगा, then tapping code भी रहेगा, and a reply with view will also be visible. So first I will show you the demo, then you would understand. Then next module is to have a reply and a view button which is going to receive the message and view notification. Okay. So now first I will show you the output demo, then we will going to uh, see the code part. Okay. So I will share the screen once again. Can you see the ID
Yes, ma'am.
and the emulator as well? So what was the first module that we will going to see in the part in the demo is app, where it is showing notification once the app is launched. So this my app already launched, notification has already appeared. You can see the same message icon I had used as that of my previous. And now my notification was having some title and some text going in it. Okay, so you can see somewhere here. Okay, my title and my text is seen here, and I had added two kind of an action. So with this add action as action, this action is pointing to the reply. As you can see, it is having remote input, reply pending intent, reply label. So reply pending intent is created here, and it is having the intent which is passed here, and this with the action as view. And when we were doing this, we are calling the receiver class. So the receiver class would going to take care of how to present this notification input, reply input. Okay. So if I click on view, okay, so let us see what happens. So this creates one activity where I am passing some string data. Okay, let me go to that part where I'm passing my string data. Okay, so this upper intent. So basically, we have this time two intent with two different action and two calling two different component. So view action is calling the notification view class, which is just like similar to what we have seen in the previous session. The only difference being now here is last time we were just displaying this by default text message which was held by this text view, but this time what we would do, we would going to pass some string in the form of extra data and we will going to receive it by the receiver. Okay, so that code we will see later. Abhi ke liye you just try to understand that we had sent some extra string along with the intent and passed it to the notification view, and because of which we are able to see this my string. So if I change this to something else, so that should be sent or that should be seen here. Okay, so that indicates whatever is the intent carrying the actions, okay, is being received by the receiver. Okay, so that is what it simply means. So likewise you can enter anything, I mean you can prepare it, or you can ask the user to enter some reply and then send that reply which is to be received by the receiver. But this time you're just trying to test whether our intent is working in combination with the receiver class or not. So as we can see, it is working. Now next set of action is the reply part. So for that, what is coded here is, so once you, sorry, so once you say reply, okay, and you tap on reply and you put any message here, and when you say send, okay, so that should be, I mean, whatever the text you had sent, it should be appeared here. Now, the only thing is that we have not created it like a conversation kind of a message app where you get to see again one reply again, because that requires again different style of coding. So we need to create an array of messages object, and then we have to pass it inside the intent as an extra string, and then we have to keep on updating it with the help of flag update current. So I will share you the link where you can extend this code. Okay, so I thought itna sara code ek साथ digest nahi hoga, so let us go piece by piece. Okay, or maybe you can work with it later on. So this is how is the this demonstration. Okay, so now when we will going to see the code. Okay, so code is very simple. Whatever step we had seen in the slide, all the step is given, or all the step is created here inside one function. तो अभी के लिए I had also used the same application जो मैंने आपको कल दिखाया था. The only difference is that, okay, earlier it was only doing this much of part, creating one class, calling that class, and generating the notification without having any action, and just simply displaying it. And the tapping action was meant to view. We had seen view also, okay, but not with the inline view, tapping view. Okay, so with the tapping view, we had created this new class which was only responsible for displaying this message that hi, your detailed notification goes here. But in the modified version of this code, I'm just calling a method notification, create notification channel, and soon after that we're calling create reply view. So create notification channel is similar to what we have seen yesterday. उसमें कुछ भी changes नहीं है. जैसा का I mean the way it was shown on the slide and in the previous demo, same it is here also. Okay, for create reply view, we had created two intents. One is for view, okay, and one is for reply. And the intent which is going to perform the view action is invoking this class with the action as view, passing some extra data as you have seen, and setting the flags, and calling the activity. So since it is calling the activity, so it has used a method get activity with the intent which is created or meant for it, and with the flag update current. Whereas for the second intent, which was meant to invoke a receiver class, is again having the action as view, okay, and with the flags, which is similar to what we have said for first intent, and the reply pending intent. So the concept is same. Here is also pending intent. Here is also pending intent. We are just giving some meaningful names so that it can be differentiated. And instead of calling the activity, we are calling the broadcast. So we are making use of method get broadcast, and as far as the parameters are concerned, it is almost same, okay, except this intent object. So here my intent object was intent to, here it is intent. It is now invoking the class which is responsible for carrying the extra data. It is invoking the receiver, which is responsible for viewing the data, which is going to be sent inside the reply action. Okay, and this next step is to create the reply action and add the remote input, which is our this step. Okay, create the action and add the remote input. Okay, next is to build a notification by setting the action. So here we had created two actions, as I said. So one was for displaying the content which is replied by the user, and one is to just view it. Okay, so again we had made use of the add action. Okay, so basically there are two ways, or you can say we can make use of adding the action. So this one is accepting the parameter, like first is the icon, then the title, and pending intent. So this pending intent is this one. Okay, and now calling the method build. So this will going to build our notification, and here again we are registering the notification with the help of the notification manager class, and issuing the notification with the help of notify. Okay, passing the id and the notification object. Okay, so here you had already seen the content and the text that was displayed onto the notification, and this action was added. I mean, if you add this line, then we'll make this view button to appear, view action to be appear inside the notification. So now we will going to see what my receiver dot class is doing and notification view dot java is doing, because both the things, I mean, both the code has been changed slightly, so that for notification view should work on retrieving this string which is passed in the extra data, and receiver should generate one more notification. Again, I will show you that once we had enter the reply some text. Okay, so there you had seen that this text goes into another notification. So the job of this receiver class is to again prepare a notification, but the content of which will be received from this remote input object. Okay, which is this last step. So this piece of code will going to code it inside the receiver class. Okay, so first let us see the receiver class, and then we will going to see how the Java class or the activity class is written. So as we all know, when we create a receiver inside our package, so what will happen? We're going to have the inclusion inside the manifest also, and we will get this on receive method. So for that, inside the on receive, because these all actions that you have seen in view to the reply is to be done when the receiver is notified. So inside on receive, you will going to create one more notification. Okay, which would be responsible for getting the runtime content. So here what we will do, the content text will not be set to some default just like this we had set somewhere like this, some random text. Rather it should be called by some user defined message, which will going to look like this. Okay, this is the message get message text, so which need to be implemented like this. Okay, so we are calling a method get message text, passing the context and passing the intent. Now this is which intent, because as we all know, on receive already takes the context of the activity and the intent which it is passed. So it has passed the intent object as well as the context. Okay, so with this two parameter, we're going to pass it inside this method. What this method is responsible for? It is responsible for retrieving the remote input. Remote input means whatever user has entered here, this has to be retrieved. So to retrieve that, we need to have the bundle object which can get the data from intent. Okay, and just return that intent, return that data in the form of a character sequence. And for each of those reply, we had associated a reply key. So we need to pass that key. So this is just like put extra and get extra. So for putting extra, we used to pass both the parameters like the key and the value, but for receiving it we just pass the key. Okay, but now here we had prepared the remote input object with this key. Okay, so we will going to get it with respect to this key itself. Okay, so this will going to get return whatever you had entered in the reply input box, and that would be set to your newly created notification. So what has happened, the previous notification that you had seen, it's not visible, but the new notification has appeared. Okay, and as you can see iska title bhi maine kuch change nahi kiya. So if you want you can just go here and say dot set content title and rerun the code, and you may say the replied notification, something like that. Okay, so this you can do by your own also. So now, once the notification is prepared, we are just notifying it to the user. Okay, this way, okay, your notification and your inputted text. Okay, so this is what the receiver class is doing. Now coming back to the activity class. Okay, so the job of activity class is also to get the data which has been sent by your activity. So here we had sent some extra data. Okay, so that extra data we are just receiving it inside the notification. So this is just like the job of some explicit intent, means the way we implement the explicit intent and then we get the data. So here we just need to have the method invocation for intent, like get intent. Okay, and we need to pass a key and we need to get the text, and once we have got the text we just have to set the text. So as of now you ignore this line of code, because this we need to, I mean I was trying to what I was trying to do is whatever we had entered here, that I was trying to display inside the uh, class, this activity class. So by default abhi application kaise work ho raha hai, I will run it again. Okay, so by default क्या होता है, when I'll tap on this view ना, so this string is appearing. Okay, but what I want, whatever I will enter here. Okay, so ये कहाँ पे display हो रहा है, in the notification, but I want this to be to be retrieved inside the class, I mean inside this activity, and instead of displaying your string it should display the replied string. I hope you're getting it. Okay, so that is how it should work. Okay, but it needs some modification to be done, so that I was in the mid of doing it, which is not completed. So that's the reason you cannot see the effect. Rather I can say that this entire thing is not required as of now. Okay, I'm just shifting it somewhere outside. So this is not required for right now. But yes, what you can now do, you can take this code, you can first study and run. Okay, so this is only just 3 line of code that this activity is doing with respect to what we have seen in the current output. Okay, so it is just getting the data, and it is just getting the message associated with this key and setting it onto the text view where you have seen the string going in. Okay, so I hope this demonstration is understood somewhat. Yes, have you understood how to add a reply and a view action, and how to retrieve the user input for a reply action? Any doubt till here? Any doubt, student?
No, ma'am.
So you will do this as kind of a homework, that you would going to get the input, which is this, and display it in some activity rather than displaying the extra data content. Okay, so that you can do, or rather you, if you have a requirement of creating a messaging kind of a reply action, like the previous reply and the next reply to this should also be attached and seen as one conversation, just like how you see in WhatsApp and all. So you can just modify the code. I will share the link also. I need to find the link. Yesterday I got it, so I will share it, or of course you can find it from developers.android.com. Okay, so now moving on to our next topic, which is supposed to be for the today's session, is download manager. So basically, as we have seen different managers class, which acts like a service list. So we have seen connectivity manager class. Just now we have seen notification manager class. Now this is a download manager class, which helps us to download the large files or the streaming data from the internet. Okay. So basically that requires download manager and few steps to initiate a download. And this is that theoretical concept which talks about how to download a data without draining a battery. So which I will be giving you for self-study. So you can be just visiting the link, which is again from the developer Android site. So you can just visit the link and study about it. Okay. So what is download manager? It's just a service, okay, which doesn't carry any UI and handles the long running HTTP download. So if you are in the need to download the data file or video, audio, any type of file from the internet, then you have to make use of this service class. So client will going to provide, I mean, user has to provide the URI, which is to be downloaded. So first the URL need to be passed into URI, which can be supplied to the download manager class, and it will then going to perform the download in the background. Okay. And when it is doing so, it will going to take care of all the HTTP interaction, and it can keep on retrying the download as many as time. Okay. Till it doesn't encounter any type of a failure or any connectivity change or system reboot. So it's like an kind of an infinity trial. It keeps on, it keeps on retrying until the things doesn't get download. But if some failures occurs, then it stops and it displays in the notification. So this, in order to make use of this class or this service, you have to have the permission of internet inside your manifest. So just while making use of this download manager service, you need to make sure that the internet service, internet permission is included inside your manifest. Okay. So what are the steps to initiate a download? So first of all, of course, the input is URL. So you should have some URL with you. Then you should pass this URL into the form of URI, and then create a request object, which is from this download manager class, and initialize it with this URL. Okay. And some alternate description, some title that you want to set, and just making sure that you are on the version 3.2 and above, because you may assume that this download manager is available. I mean, the support is available from the version 3.2 or honeycomb and above. Okay. So this is just for you to see the backward compatibility. And then next you can invoke some method like allow scanning by media scanner, then set notification visibility. So basically this is important, because isse kya hota hai ki you will get to see in notification drawer that your download is going on. Okay. So though it is not complete code, I would share the complete code. And then next, once the download has been completed then you would like to store the file inside the download folders, okay, of your Android directory structure. Okay, so that time you would going to make use of environment variable, and that is environment dot directory download. And then you can of course uh, give or assign some name to the file which is getting downloaded, and set its destination in the external public directory. So you will call this method completely to get this task done. Okay. So here you had just prepared how your download manager request should look like. And now what you will going to do, get the download service registered. So you need to invoke get system service. Now here the context would be download service. If you can recall, for the notification we had used the कहाँ गया notification manager. ओके यहाँ पे डायरेक्टली हमने नोटिफिकेशन मैनेजर कॉम्पैट डॉट फ्रॉम दिस करके यूज किया, बट इट इज वन इन द सेम ओनली. और जब भी हम लोग, आई मीन लाइक whenever we are in a need to use some services, we have to provide it or pass it like a context of that service. So the name of that service is context dot download service. Okay. And then with the help of this manager object, so every manager class will be having a manager object which is getting registered to the system with the context of that service. And using that manager object, you are going to initiate that thing. So in previous example we had a notification manager object dot notify. Here we have download manager object dot enqueue request, because you may have multiple downloading requests going in your system. So everything has to be put in a queue and need to be served on the first, and need to be served by the download manager. Okay. So this code you can try from this link which is given here, and this is a very simple one, so I'm leaving giving you this also as homework. Okay, and one thing you have to take care is when you uh, are implementing this download manager service, okay, that requests the download through this API. So you should be registered to the broadcast receiver. Why? Because this is for the notification part. Okay, as I said, you're setting the visibility, okay, here to appear. I mean, so that this download request would appear in your notification drawer, okay, when the download is happening. So for that you have to have the broadcast receiver, because depending upon different types of actions that user may the system may perform, the user should be notified. Okay, so suppose if download is going on and at that time user has clicked on it, then what should happen? Okay, or if the download has completed, then what should happen? So this is like the system action, or this is like the intent action, which is sent by the download manager when a download gets complete. So you get to see, the receiver, system receiver, or you can get to see that inside the notification tower, you get to see that the file has been downloaded. The message comes download complete, and in notification you get to see your downloaded file. And as soon as you tap onto that file, you are redirected to the content of that file. Okay, so what should happen when the notification is clicked? So for that to implement, you have to pass this as the action inside your intent while invoking the broadcast receiver. So broadcast intent action, which is sent by the download manager when the user clicks on a running download, and which could be either from the notification or which could be from the downloads UI. So as we all know, we have the what you can say, the download application inside our system. So it could be from anywhere, right from the notification or all from the downloads UI. So I think apart from this, there is one more action. So what are the different visibilities flags we have? So you can check out here: visibility hidden, visible, visibility visible, notify completed. So this download is visible and it will appear in the notification while it is in progress and after completion. So like we are taking care of both. Okay, when the download is in progress, so from the point when it has started till its completion, everything would be notified to the user. So that is what is visibility is all about. Then next is I wanted to show. So this is only after completion. Next thing that I wanted to show is different actions. I think it is in this link. Huh? So different actions that we have. This two already we've seen. Action view download. So this is an intent action to launch an activity to display all downloads, so that when you tap onto the download and you get to see all the list of downloads in progress, like in the activity form. So this is another interesting, you can say, action that you can use if you want to create an application which can behave like an download application. Okay, so this you will going to do from your end. Okay, two links are there for creating how to create the download manager dot request object and initiate a download, and one link to how to create one of your own download managers. So the link is given here, and you just have to go one step ahead, have a broadcast receiver implemented, and with any of these different actions that you want to make visible inside the notification. Okay, and the last topic is downloading data without draining battery. So these are like the suggestions, something kind of a suggestion given by the what you can say, Google or Android developers. So how to optimize the download for efficient network access. So these are like each and every things which are given here, like a lessons or a module. Okay, so this lesson will take you through the wireless radio state machine, explain how your app connectivity models interacts with it, how you can minimize your data connection and all. So basically all related to the wireless concept, how you can be optimizing the the downloads efficiency, so that you can minimize the draining of a battery which is required. Then minimizing the effect of regular updates, redundant downloads, and how to control the redundant downloads. Then modifying your download pattern based on the type of connectivity, because this we see in our WhatsApp also. We have option for being on mobile data or on Wi-Fi data, so that how the download should takes place and how it impacts onto the battery life. So this is like a theory topic. You may expect a short note on this. So the links I have already given, so you can just go to this link and study about it and be preparing some key points related to each of this, how to do the optimization. And if it is asked in short note, then you can write those key points, okay, summary points. So that's it for today. I mean, this module 3 has been completed. Okay. So I think for our UT one we had, can somebody tell me till, I think इसके पहले का जो भी था वो UT1 में था, तो from this point onwards you can assume our UT2 will going to contain the things. Okay. So I will share this slide, which is, I guess we had got around one, two, three presentations for this chapter 3. So I think till here I must have already shared. You just confirm. I think intent wala part I had already shared. This whole slide, whole presentation is for intent. I think this I had already shared, right? Yes, students.
Yes, ma'am.
So I need to share this one, right? So I'll convert it into PDF and then we'll share with you all. So this completes the third module, and maybe after, we don't have lecture in this week, I guess, any more lectures. So maybe after our break, we will going to start with the fourth module. So meanwhile, you utilize this midterm break to practice the code and to complete your mini project modules. Okay. So use all the concepts which has been taught till today to include it inside your project. Okay. Anchal, you there?
Yes, ma'am. Hello.
हाँ, ओके. अभी नहीं. कल हम लोग कहीं तो स्टॉप हुए थे. Let me recall. Rajkumar, you there? Rajkumar, are you here? Not there? Okay. Rohit,
Yes,
are
ma'am.
you there? Yesterday, I think we were supposed to start from this roll number. Remember?
Ma'am, I was absent yesterday.
नहीं, absent नहीं थे ना तुम?
No,
Absent
ma'am,
थे?
I was absent yesterday. I was absent
You were absent.
yesterday.
ओके, या यू वर एब्सेंट यस्टरडे. चलो ना, ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं. एब्सेंट थे तो क्या हो गया. चलो, मुझे आज बताओ, आज के लेक्चर में तुमने क्या सीखा. व्हाट यू अंडरस्टूड. यस, व्हाट वी did in today's session, what concepts we saw. Rohit, I'm asking you.
Notification and download manager.
What we have seen in notification particularly. नोटिफिकेशन में क्या देखा हमने.
Replies.
तुमने एंड्रॉयड कब से यूज करना स्टार्ट किया है. Which was the first version of Android that you used? Yes, don't remember.
No, ma'am.
Okay, but as a user, you have some experience with notification. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am, I think so.
So tell me your experience. What difference did you observe? I mean, I want to know your throughout experience of notification. What did you observe? पहले कैसे होता था, अभी कैसे होता है?
UI was better. I mean, it's better now. Basically.
पहले रिप्लाई एक्शन दिखता था नोटिफिकेशन में. Was it visible?
Jelly bean में I think था.
Jelly bean means which version? I mean,
Jelly bean, I don't know the
code
number,
name.
but jelly bean में था. इतना मेरे को याद है.
Okay. Next student, Selvi, not there. तो जो प्रेजेंट है मैं डायरेक्ट उनका ही नाम लेती हूँ. नेक्स्ट 49 रोहित.
Yes, ma'am.
So can you guess from which version we have got this reply and all action in the notification?
I don't remember actually. I'm thinking.
You don't have to think, you have to look for it. क्योंकि हमको ये मालूम होना चाहिए कि from which version, or you know, there's a difference in this different ways of issuing notification. Find out and tell me. देख के बताओ. ढूंढो. Malvika, you there?
Yes, ma'am.
What are the different types of action we can have in notification? Can you list?
Ma'am,
हाँ.
tap action.
टैप तो एक्शन है. आई मीन टैप करने के बाद कौन से टाइप्स के एक्शन है? और टेल मी व्हाट आर द डिफरेंट टैपिंग एक्शंस वी हैव सीन फॉर नोटिफिकेशन. क्या क्या देखा तुमने? डेमो देखा था?
Yes.
क्या क्या देखा? क्या समझ में आया?
Push action.
पुश एक्शन क्या होता है वो?
हम नोटिफिकेशंस को पुश करने के लिए.
तो वो हमने देखा. Did we saw how to push notification?
Mm-hmm.
Yes or no?
No, ma'am.
We haven't seen. Then what we have seen? You tell me about that. तुमने डेमो देखा, कोड देखा कि नहीं देखा, स्लाइड पे देखा? Yes? Have you seen it or not?
Yes, ma'am.
So what you understood?
रिप्लाई कैसे करते नोटिफिकेशंस को?
क्या ऑब्जेक्ट यूज किया नोटिफिकेशन रिप्लाई क्रिएट करने के लिए? उसका नाम बता सकते हो? ओके, नेक्स्ट स्टूडेंट आफ्ताब.
Yes, ma'am.
तुम बता सकते हो? What are the different types of notifications actions we have seen? हाँ?
मैम रिप्लाई के लिए, फिर ग्रुप करने के लिए.
रिप्लाई करने के लिए कौन सा क्लास यूज किया हमने? कौन सा ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएट किया हमने? ठीक है, नेक्स्ट स्टूडेंट पूजा.
नोटिफिकेशन ड्रॉवर.
नोटिफिकेशन ड्रॉवर. नहीं, आई एम नॉट आस्किंग दैट थिंग. Find out what is the name of object which is used to create reply in notification. Pooja, are you there? Yes or no? नहीं हो तो absent. Kritik,
Yes, ma'am.
same question.
Ma'am, how to add action?
Ma'am, we can add it using the builder offered by notification compat.
What is the
In the
name?
builder, in the builder we call add action and then pass
नहीं,
a
ऐड एक्शन तो बाद में करेंगे ना, पहले तो हमको रिप्लाई एक्शन प्रिपेयर करना है ना. कैसे करेंगे, कौन सा बिल्डर ऑब्जेक्ट यूज करेंगे?
रिप्लाई एक्शन. हम डायरेक्ट रिप्लाई के लिए रिमोट इनपुट.
ओके. जगदीश,
Yes, ma'am.
what you learned today?
Ma'am, to build that reply notification and like imply notification using like
And what are other action supported? रिप्लाई कर सकते हैं, उसके जैसा और क्या कर सकते हैं?
मैम एक्शन बिल्डर से अपन बनाया था मैम, तो उससे विजिबिलिटी आप बताया था मैम, वो तो
Can we have multiple action for a same notification?
आई गेस नो. यस, कैन व्यू मैम, स्क्रॉल डाउन उसको कर सकते हैं, मतलब मोर इन्फॉर्मेशन करके मैम. पर आपने मैम वो सीखा नहीं, मतलब दोनों एक ही साथ वैसा व्यू कैसे कर सकते हैं वो?
व्यू कर सकते हैं वो हमने नहीं देखा.
मैम व्यू कर सकते हैं, मतलब अपना रिप्लाई दिख सकता है मैम, तो ओपोनेंट मतलब सेंडर का मैसेज व्यू नहीं कर सकते वो मैम, वो बोल रहा था मैम.
हाँ, वो मैंने आप लोगों को बुलाया
हाँ.
करने के लिए.
हाँ मैम.
वो बहुत ही सिंपल ही है, उसमें भी ज्यादा कुछ नहीं है. आपको बस इंटेंट में वो रिट्रीव करना है रिमोट इनपुट का कंटेंट, एंड उसको या तो रिसीवर से भी कर सकते हो, बट एक्टिविटी से इसलिए लिया है सो दैट वी कैन सी के फ्रॉम नोटिफिकेशन हाउ टू गेट इट इनसाइड एनी एक्टिविटी, सो दैट आई एम लीविंग फॉर यू टू डू. ठीक है.
ओके.
नेक्स्ट रोल नंबर.
Yes, ma'am.
फर्स्ट लेट मी सी डू वी हैव टाइम और नॉट. ठीक है, टाइम हो गया, तो अभी नेक्स्ट वी विल कंटिन्यू. एक्चुअली बीच में तो बहुत सारे लोग एब्सेंट हैं आज. 46 से फिर से चालू करेंगे हम लोग. ठीक है. जस्ट पीपल दोज हु वर देयर टुडे, आई हैव टू टेल मी दैट दे वर देयर इन द लास्ट क्लास. ओके. So you can leave, students. Already I had marked you in the beginning. कोई है अभी पीछे से ऐड हुआ? लेट कमर.
Number 5.
मैम 33.
हाँ, तो अभी अटेंडेंस नहीं मिलेगा आपको.
Ma'am, I was there earlier also.
कौन बोल रहा है ये?
Ma'am, Siddesh here.
You were there, Siddesh, since beginning?
Ma'am, I had called out my roll number when everyone was.
अच्छा. 33 तुम लेट ज्वाइन हुए? अश्वत
Yes,
ना?
ma'am.
Ma'am, 20 also. I had called out my roll number, but I think you missed out.
कितना अच्छा
I
बोल
put
लेते
in
हो
the
यार
chat
ये.
also.
ठीक है. 33 and 20.
Yes, ma'am.
Roll number 5.
कौन है?
5.
Amesh. When did you join?
I joined the beginning, ma'am,
In the beginning.
and I got disconnected. Few
हाँ,
times.
31 as well.
Work.
31.
I was a little late, man, around 5-10 minutes.
Rest can leave. जिसको अटेंडेंस का प्रॉब्लम है वही रुको.
I'm 21 also.
रुको, पहले अमेश को ढूंढते किधर है.
Yes, ma'am.
अमेश joined 10:33. तुम्हारा ही देख रही हूँ ना मैं. हाँ. Then left at 11:08. Again join 10. और तुम बोलते हो तुम बिगनिंग से थे. 10:33 को हमारा लेक्चर चालू होता है अमेश.
No, ma'am. Network problem था मैम, उसके लिए join and leave कर रहा था.
कितना तुम लोगों को फेवरेट एक्सक्यूज है, नेटवर्क नेटवर्क नेटवर्क. नेटवर्क के बिना कुछ होता नहीं है और तुम लोग नेटवर्क को ही ब्लेम करते रहते हो. इजंट इट? यू विल नॉट गेट अटेंडेंस अमेश. यू हैव टू ज्वाइन ऑन टाइम. और कौन है पीछे? रेस्ट कैन लीव
31
जिनका
मैम।
अटेंडेंस मार्क्ड है। नाम बोलो, नाम अभी यहाँ नंबर नहीं दिख रहा है।
अश्विन मैम। अश्विन।
हाँ
अश्विन।
अश्वत, अश्विन,
अश्विन। हाँ।
हाँ हाँ अश्विन, किधर हो भाई अश्विन, ये रहा अश्विन 10-16, ओके। अभी तुम्हारा नंबर बोलो अश्विन।
31 मैम।
मिल गया। अश्वत, अश्वत का देखना है। Where is अश्वत?
जस्ट अबाउट अश्विन।
इधर ही है। ओके, तुम्हारा ऑलरेडी मार्क्ड है फिर। ठीक है, बाकी कोई नहीं है ना अभी? सूरज अय्यर, अय्यर ही था ना? अय्यर, सिद्धेश, ठीक है। अय्यर, सूरज, रेस्ट कैन लीव। ओके, डन। अश्वत, अश्विन, ठीक है।